Welcome back to Pearl Media, where truth meets perspective. Today, we're diving into another classic Kevin Samuels moment. Let's get into it.
Strippers are really about their business. They're upfront honest. And the guys that they're with, yeah. You probably had the prissy girls, the ones around doing shit you ain't got no business doing. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Kevin.
How old are you?
I love watching your show. But I did have a question.
Go ahead.
So,
first off, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 39.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so you said that if you divorce or if you separate and you have kids, that it would go to the husband. It would go to the man. And in your past lives, you always talk about infrastructure and how the man can do things that the woman can't do, right?
Okay.
So if the kids are with the dad, where does that leave? I know that's not of course we want to keep the families together and the family unit, but a lot of our African American women are single and without their men. So if the kids were with the man, then where would that leave the women single, and where would that leave us? If
the children went with the father?
Yes, sir. Where would that leave the man?
What would leave the woman?
Well, also, if the husband, or excuse me, if the male is taking care of the kids, where does that leave our infrastructure and our technology?
We gotta answer one question at a time.
Yes, sir.
You ladies often do that. You often catastrophize. You ask one question and you build on top of it. What is the question?
I've been waiting.
The kid has to go one place.
Yes, sir. I've been waiting to ask you this, though.
Okay, but if the kid, then work through it. If the kid has to go one place, you ask me what happens if the kid goes to the father.
Yes, sir. What happens to?
What happens
not
to whom?
it, sir,
what happens
but
to whom?
to the world.
First, you have to call me sir.
Okay.
What happens to the world?
I'm military. I'm military.
What happens to the world? The world
Sorry.
becomes a better place. The world becomes a better place just like that. Why?
Yes,
Why?
sir.
Why? Because men built the world.
That's what I'm saying. They're building the world.
I need you to listen. Because men built the world. Men are builders. Men are planners. Men are not so in their emotions, so men get shit done. The first thing a father is going to do, and once his kid is going to make sure that there's someone to care for the child. If the father needs to go out and do A, B, and C, and he's not going to be looking to find somebody else to come in and necessarily, he's going to find a way to make it done himself. He's not going to try to bring in another woman because so you ask what happens to the women.
Well, no, you just answered my question. They get a nanny.
I don't say they get a nanny, they just get shit done. But what we end up doing generates more jobs.
Yep, I agree.
More infrastructure.
Right. So I was just asking because you always talk about men and infrastructure, and we depend on the man to do things that women aren't able to do. So that's why I was like, okay, if the women give up the children, where does that leave the man and his priority to guide and direct the world?
The same place it always has been. Like it or not, if you're a father and you know you got a mouse to feed every day at home, your motivation is there.
Yes, sir.
I'm on both sides of this. The immediacy of a child in the house is different than when you're a weekend dad.
Yeah.
I think the bigger question is, so the implication is, if men are taking care of the kids, that means they're not doing their primary focus of building the infrastructure in the world.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But the children have always been with the men. Prior to the 50s, the children were with the fathers. When a woman divorced, before no-fault divorce, women left. They were with okay, think about it. When we're in an agrarian economy, and if we're a farming family, all right, the farm is in the family name. If you left, the kid's going to stay with me because they're going to be here. The people, if you can work the farm, or if you're going to go to school,
you're right.
Women were taking the kids where? To what infrastructure?
Right.
They weren't going to get farms. They weren't building anything. The best, they would have a job. And a job means a man, and a job that it was going to employ a woman means somebody had to make a business, and likely that was a man. I think the larger question is, what does that do with the women? The women would just be by themselves. But that's a choice, though, right?
Yes, it
So,
is.
if you were a child, where would it be better to be a child, with a woman or a man? Especially if you look at how males and females move in this world. Here's something I want you guys to do. I want you guys to all go to Amazon Prime Video, and I want you to go look for a video called The Island. Bear Grylls, The Island, Grylls. And the whole concept is he takes 16 adults and drops them on the island, and they have to survive for 6 weeks. Season 2, they drop 16 men on one island, 16 women on another island. They had some basic tools, enough water for a couple of days, and they had to get after it. And the funny thing is, when it got right down to it, men's instincts got to work. As soon as they got there, they talked for a minute. Next thing you know, they cut a path through, and they trekked on to get from one beach to another to have someplace to sit. You know what happened to the women? They sat on the beach, chit-chatted, talked, sat the surfboard. Then
They contaminate the water?
Women went into the woods about 40 yards, still can see the one, and then they split up. And they said, you guys go off and find water in the beach home, and they got separated and lost, and this group is circling around trying to find each other for days, and this group goes out and tries to find this group. By this time, the men had already built the goddamn internet, and the women in week 5 were still trying to lead by committee. Because men automatically, when shit happens, we segregate ourselves. You know what those men did? They didn't know each other. 16 of the men did not know each other, but from the moment they got on the boat to the island, men decided, okay, what's your skill set? What's your skill set? What's your skill set? You're in general construction, you're in this, you're that. Okay. You lead, we follow. Now, there were several guys in there who were more educated, but who they followed? The guy who had construction experience and planning. And the guy who kept saying, let's go, well, let's stay here. We need to cut through it. But guess what? The men stayed on the path, following the leader. And guess what? By the time the sun is setting, the man that everybody decided to follow, even though some guys were reluctant, got to where they needed to get to. Because that's inherently in us. The women, go watch what they did. You guys go this way, you guys go that way. I don't know. I don't like how you're talking to me. I think we should go this way. Sun's dipping.
I have one more question, Kevin.
Sure.
Okay, so is it okay to mention a verse from the Bible when Adam and Eve ate from the fig tree, and the Lord told Adam that he would have to work by the sweat of his brow, and Eve would have to long for him. So if he's out there working, where does that leave the woman?
What do you mean if he's out?
Like her role. Are you saying the point of the matter is that you're telling women that?
Well, what was her? Okay, are we talking about before the fall or after?
After.
Okay, after is our punishment. What was her original role?
To be her man's helpmate.
Right.
Right.
Adam's original job was to do what?
To be the ruler of the world, right?
He was to administer the garden.
Okay.
And he had done that just fine.
Right.
God said, only one rule, that tree over there, don't eat nothing over there. And the entire time Adam was there, he just got up and went to work, right?
Right. But he was lonely.
Huh?
He was lonely and longing for a soulmate.
Yeah, but he followed rules and he followed the structure.
Correct.
The one thing he was told not to do, he didn't do. And soon as lonely, longing Adam, who did not have a soulmate, a mate, God said, you know what? You're right. So instead of making it, he took the rib out of Adam, put him to sleep. And what's the first thing he decided to do? This is nice. I like this eating stuff, and all my job is to do is walk around with you and tell the lions and zebras what to do, and everything is chill. We got all the food and everything.
I know.
We're in paradise, right? And I got nothing to do except be your co-pilot.
Right.
And there's only one rule. The one rule is I get to keep all this and experience no birth, no pain in childbirth, no nothing. And the only rule is you can have anything over here you want to eat.
But respect that one thing.
But just don't go over there. What the first thing she did, like in your nature, went right on over there.
Trifling.
Well, but the point is, so you're asking what's a woman's role?
Right.
What's a woman's role? Well, in the fall, you're still our partner. You're still our helpmate. And if you have to work and sweat and toil, you're going to be. If you have children, you're going to be there for the kids, but you can't be out here in the field because more often than not, women can't work to the levels men work to. Men tend to find a man doesn't need a woman if he doesn't have a job for her. She has a role.
Right.
So I don't understand why you keep asking what's a woman's role. I guess in the short, whatever her man needs.
Correct. I agree.
But to some people, their heads are probably exploding. The Bible and this and that. Some people actually believe that we're the only species on the planet that are not really supposed to be, that she's a sentient, autonomous being and what she does is her thing, and what I do is my thing. Everybody else is grouped up and paired off, but we're just individuals, like Star Trek or some shit. No, ladies, that's not how it works. But appreciate it. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Man, I have to say, it's always refreshing when we get a conversation like this. She's 39, she's smart, and she came in with genuine questions for Kevin. And you can tell right away she wasn't here to argue or to prove a point. She actually wanted to hear the truth. That's a rare thing these days. Most of the time, people call in thinking they already have the answers, and the moment they hear something they don't like, they get defensive. But not her. She listened. She asked thoughtful questions, and Kevin responded respectfully, giving her direct, clear answers without all the unnecessary back and forth. You could tell she wasn't there to posture or to try and win the conversation. She was there to learn, and because of that, Kevin was able to really lay things out for her in a way that actually might help her. He touched on the reality of dating at her age, the importance of knowing what men actually value, and how to position herself in a way that's attractive to the type of man she's looking for. What really stood out to me was her willingness to take it in. She wasn't offended. She wasn't rolling her eyes. She wasn't giving attitude. She actually paused and considered what he said before responding. That's how you grow. That's how you get better results in life, by listening to people who have been there and who know the game. And honestly, I respect that. She might not agree with everything Kevin said, and that's fine, but she walked away with more knowledge than she had before. That's how these conversations should go. If more women approach dating advice with this kind of openness, a lot of the problems we see in the dating world right now would disappear overnight. At the end of the day, being smart isn't just about what you already know. It's about being smart enough to know there's still more to learn. And in this case, she nailed that.